Again, I will go back to, and I feel very strongly about this, that the issues, and there's a number of factors, it's never one issue, but the issues...
I definitely agree with that. It's never one issue.
It is never one issue. Some more than another. But the issues, which included, taxes, that's a bigger issue in terms of, the assessor not doing it like they should be doing it, but never.
That's hurting everybody.
That's hurting everybody. Yes,
Yeah,
but that just exacerbates this fiscally responsible goal or objective that the public, and I think those that turn down the bond, want to see. And that's only getting, from the time that the last bond failed to now, the play field, if you will, it's gotten worse, right? Home prices have just gone through the roof. And that was the common thing I was hearing from people that have especially been here a long time, is I can't afford to live in my home anymore. They don't have Prop 13 like California, right, that caps the amount that property taxes go up. So that's one issue. We're now facing the highest inflation that we've seen in 40 years, right? That's just going to exacerbate this. I say this and I plead for this because if we don't address this, if we think we're just going to be able to convince, the public of a plan, and they feel that they haven't been listened to and dealt with, the measure is going to fail, and that's my...
But it's got to be fair, right? I think just to put it very bluntly, I don't feel like even the last process with the committee has been fair, right? It's not been an unbiased approach. It's felt like GSBS has been in the back pocket of the district, right? True or not, that's how it's felt to me in the meetings, right? Like it really needs to, I think for me to be on board, it really needs to feel like this is a fair process where the board as well is saying, you know what, we really want to hear what people think about these two options, right? Like it has to feel that way, right? And I think, again, what has happened in the last 4 months has not felt that way to me. And so if we keep doing what we've done for the last 4 months, you will not have my support, right? And we will take a different approach, right? I don't want to, though. Again, I really don't want to. I really want this to be, I'd like the school board to have the credibility that you guys deserve. Like I know that my mom's on the county council, I know how much time you guys put into this. It's a thankless job, right? Where you've always got haters, right?
You don't do it for the paycheck.
You don't do it for the paycheck, right? Like, no, we all understand that, right? Like, I want the school board to be supported, right? But it cannot be what it's been for the last 4 months. It has to be a process that's really open to, to alternatives. And then, then they'll have me on board. I think it sounds like Kevin too and Brad.
Yeah.
I even heard a yes from Tracy.
And I think the thing for me is
It's about the community being involved. It's always been that.
Yeah. The thing, I mean, just while it's on the subject of taxes, I think one thing that, and I don't think this needs to be part of what we're saying here, but again, I think when we pulled the numbers just on like tax collections, I think the underlying feeling here is when they look at their tax bill, most of their taxes is going to the school board, right? And so if you look at
School district.
the school district,
Yeah, it's not going to you.
it's in your house, Corey. It's not going to you, man. The school district, right?
it's got a secret Cayman account.
Okay, this is the comparison of the Davis demographics. So the red line is their projection 2018. The blue line is their updated projection. You can see the red line is their projection 2018. The blue line is the actual numbers, right?
Do you mind sending this to me?
I would prefer not to.
We're not going to tear it apart. We would just like to.
But
Chris, could you? Chris, can you go back to the board members?
I'm happy to come and share with them again. I think we've got to build a little more trust between us, and then I'm happy to share.
Chris, could you go back to that one note there? Some of this gap is due to COVID in terms of slower growth than anticipated. And I wish we went around and pulled, permit data for permits that were issued, if you will, over the last 4 or 5 years. And actually, it shows COVID did just the opposite.
Yeah, great. So,
COVID accelerated.
I think he's meaning the blue line.
No.
But so,
The difference, the
Right.
COVID effect is the blue line for us in the actual.
No, what I'm saying is, the actual is the blue line, right? Which is less than what was projected. Okay? It was less than what was projected. What I'm saying is, because that says some of that gap could be due, right, that we had slower
Growth.
student growth was due to COVID. And I'm saying, the actual opposite in terms of residential permits growth did the opposite.
yeah, it actually took a sharp spike.
What I'm saying is that our enrollment declined.
People did
Because
homeschool,
kids
right?
going online and then coming back.
Right, so that, yeah.
Understood.
Exactly, so there's offsetting things going on,
Lots of
right?
reasons why enrollment growth went down.
Yeah, it could have gone down.
Was COVID. Yeah, it was
Right.
COVID,
Right,
yeah.
And the,
We would argue the same
the,
thing.
not, the,
At the same time, the
Yeah.
But at
population.
the same, so you have two effects happening. One is people went off on, or what do you call it, online, right? But then at the same time, you did actually have a massive spike in move-ins, right? And so there's two things that should have happened in that line. I don't know which one was greater, right?
Probably somewhere in the
So it's hard to interpret the data. Again, we're not trying to make a big point of what we're saying so far. Even before COVID and post-COVID, you're still seeing a lot lower. But that's not what I want to get to. I want to get to this one. So the tax base in Wasatch County has increased dramatically, right, over the last several years. So in response, Midway City has lowered their actual rate, right? So this is their tax rate over the last 8-9 years, right? And therefore, the amount collected per capita has actually gone down slightly, roughly stayed flat. Wasatch County, same thing. They've lowered their tax rate. As a result, the amount collected per citizen or per capita roughly stayed flat. You guys know the answer to the next one. The school board hasn't lowered their rate. As a result, the tax collected per student has increased dramatically over the last, these are inflation-adjusted numbers as well. If you would have kept the per tax collection per student the same as the 2017 level, you would have collected $30 million less in taxes in the last 3 years, right? And so I think if we really want to get to the core of why does the county not trust the fiscal responsibility of the district, is this, right? The district has collected, again, this is an inflation-adjusted number of $30 million extra. Now again, that may be say that's great because we want to spend more on our students. I'm just saying the reality is this is what's happened, right?
Well,
If we really want to get at fiscal responsibility, I think you got to tackle this. I don't think that's the point of what we're talking about right now, but
well, for years, folks have told us that, including Tracy and others, that they can support teacher raises.
yeah,
And we're in a very tough spot right now where,
yeah,
for the first time ever, we found our principals in the recent history offering jobs, people accepting jobs, 2 weeks later coming back and say, sorry, I can't teach here. That's just one anecdotal piece of evidence, but the board has made a commitment to raise teacher salaries and
Right.
find that the lion's share of that has gone to raising teacher salaries in the last 5 years. And that's the fact of the matter. And through some weird different circumstances with, the county mistake and all those different things, but our tax increases, our M&O budgets, very high percentage of it is just flat out salaries, and
Yeah, over 90%.
that's where it's
Yeah.
at. So
Yeah.
anyway,
So-
I think we're in a good spot. I think that we oughta. We've been here an hour. Let's call it good. We're in a good spot. Let's come back. We'll let you. We'll get an email out and let you know when this next meeting will be. We're shooting for Tuesday at say 5:30 to 7, so that people can head out to their convention, their caucus after, and we will give your group time to make this presentation. We'll go from there.
sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And end the meeting. On Zoom.